It's Snocross. This is NASCAR meets the mountain. They're coming with the trucks, the pit crews, the snowsuits, all sporting the team colors. And on a Bluebird day, you can see these guys a mile away. But you best stay out of their way, especially this man, Superman Blair Morgan. Blair normally owns this event. Last year going for the four-peat, and he failed. Paul Page, is he still the man to beat?
Oh, that's the question we're going to answer, Sal. As you know, Snocross at X Games is a fight between two men. Blair Morgan with a gold 3 times, 2 silvers, and a bronze in 7 X Games. Now you can log on to EXPN.com's instant poll and tell us if you think whether or not Blair Morgan will take the gold. But then there is Tucker Hibbert as well. He took the gold in 2000. Last year he focused on motocross, but he still finished second behind the gold medalist Mike Island and ahead of Blair Morgan. They are a sure fight, a sure bet, and like many championships, to win at X you need luck and confidence. Now, Mike Island came to the finals last year an underdog in the shadow of a battle between Tucker Hibbert and Blair Morgan. Hibbert looking for gold and Morgan looking for a 4-peat. But watch Mike Island alongside of Morgan.
Mike Island nailed the whole shot. That blue sled is gone.
And that was all she wrote. While Morgan and Hibbert battled back, it was Mike Island out in front and taking the victory. So for the first time in his X career, Mike Island felt the weight of a gold around his neck. Yeah, but X Games this year has not been kind to Mike Island. There he is, the rider of number 8. He had a wreck on a 105-foot jump yesterday. He says everything in his body hurts. So we are in the second round of qualifying. This is heat number 1, focusing up on DJ Ekstrom and Mike Island.
Yeah, Island showed in the first round that he shook that off, and he's doing pretty well. There is Island way outside right there. There is Ekstrom way inside. This is going to be a very interesting hole shot. It's so crucial here, Paul.
One final check of the line. We're at high altitude here, 7,900 feet. That's really challenged the guys who are putting the motors together for this, trying to get as much air as they can in when there isn't much available. Oh, take a look at this. Mike Island comes sweeping around, and Island with the whole shot goes to the front.
Island just pulled a magic start. He got that launch, almost fell off the outside edge of the track, saved it, never got out of rhythm in those rollers, and he already has a stellar lead.
That red sled coming down the hill behind Mike Island is Justin Tate, and he's in a battle with Ekstrom. Now Alar moves past him and comes into third.
A lot of concerns for Island about his mental state after that big crash. It definitely shook him, but in his first round, he put in a brilliant run to his second. Great story on Tate. He's got broken ribs, a badly damaged shoulder from a huge crash in January. How he's even hanging on, I have no idea, let alone second on that red sled.
That blue sled is Mike Island as they come up the hill. And then Justin Tate, the red and blue, but he's under challenge.
That is Dave Allard, a French-Canadian who is having a sensational season in Quebec. Brought in, did a nice job. Ekstrom now falls into the 4th spot, that black sled. Right there comes Ekstrom.
Tate and Ekstrom, 3rd and 4th. Tate's the 28th. That red and blue sled, and then Ekstrom on 25, left of your screen.
Ekstrom taking that black Amsoil sled way out wide. He wanted that outside run. He's going to try the big triple right there. He made it, Paul, but it wasn't enough at this stage to slip by that red Polaris of Tate.
In qualifying, you get 1 point for first, 2 points for second, third, and so on. The idea is at the end of the 2 rounds of qualifying to come up with the lowest possible score. We'll keep an eye on 3rd and 4th here, Tate and Ekstrom.
Oh, Tate got very lucky there. He got out of rhythm in that roller, but managed to save it. But it dropped him to 4th. He had a 6th in the opening round. He needs a better finish than where he's sitting right now, I think, to advance. Meanwhile, Ekstrom starting to draw away now.
Yeah, and if Mike Island is riding hurt, it's hard to tell, and I guarantee you he is. I went in his trailer after his wreck just to say hi and see how he was doing, and he looked up, brave smile, a lot of pain in the eyes, and he just said, it's good to get it done early.
There's a good look at DJ Ekstrom. Won the season's opening Pro Open National in Duluth, Minnesota. Has been very quick ever since. There's a look at Allard. And then far left of your screen, top of the hill, that blue Bud Light Skidoo of the defending champ Mike Island. Second in the opening round. Maybe a win here. Not a bad start to a defense.
Working the course for the final lap of this round 2, heat number 1. The 8th sled belongs to the reigning gold medalist Mike Island. And remember, we were talking about the scoring here. The top 16 will advance to the semifinals and then on ultimately to determine the gold medal. Will it beat Mike Island again for a second year in a row? Possibly, but there are a good many guys that are going to have something to say about that. Allard comes across in second. Ekstrom on 28 finishes third, followed by Justin Tate.
Pretty amazing, too. Island almost a 2-second margin over David Allard. So right now, he has to be very, very happy.
Let's go back to the start.
There's Island on the outside. It doesn't get off the line that well, but then it hooks up beautifully. That's Billy Waldock on the green sled. Island says, not a prayer, son, and just drives around the outside, hits that bank. Now look at him get crossed up. And somehow, right here, Paul, never gets out of rhythm in those crucial rollers. Still sideways, but nails it.
And there's the checkered flag for Mike Island as he starts what he hopes is a roll toward the gold once again. And the official scoring now comes in. Island, Allard, Ekstrom, and Tate, just as we suggested. Blair Morgan, one of the veterans, as is Tucker Hibbert. But they're now going to have to take on a whole raft of young guys. The youths. Robbie Malinowski at 23. Sean Crapo, 20 in his 3rd X Games. And Steve Martin at 20 in his 4th. You gotta love Aspen. Playground of the wealthy. Biz jets, they're commonplace. In fact, some guys who vacation here have been known to buy 2 jets, just in case one gets lonely. And then look at the ritzy Hotel Jerome. Just imagine all that glitz overrun by the athletes, the fans, and the overall madness that is Winter X. We were talking about the youths.
Did you say youth?
Yeah, meaning youths, of course. Look at that. The starting age is getting younger, and they are going pro sooner. And then let's talk about Steve Martin. This course has not been kind to the 20-year-old.
No, he came in as a favorite last year and in practice had one of the most horrific crashes we have ever seen. Watch this. He cases the landing. Bang! Comes off. He's going way fast at this point. Almost takes out a course worker. Had a compression fracture of his back. Then, earlier today in a practice round, smaller thing, same result. Went over and aggravated a wrist injury. He's holding on to his arm there. This track can be a man-eater. Let's look at it. The start. Cuts across. Then into the most crucial part of the track, a roller coaster. Very much a rhythm section you've got to nail. Top of the hill, over a small jump, then the big air. Gap jump, 105 peak to peak, about 120 peak to sweet spot on the landing. Then a little kicker jump at the bottom into a very tight turn. Then into the minefield. No rhythm, just a bunch of ruts. Now you got a choice. You go outside for the big triple, or you tighten it up and do a double-double. When you get to the finish line, gap jump, no options here. It's 85 feet. You better clear it. And then down into the most important turn on this track. You've got to get through this turn at the bottom of the hill to get over that little stutter bump and get set for that absolutely crucial roller coaster section.
A 250-foot change in elevation, 0.6 of a mile long. And we'll be watching especially Robbie Malinowski and Martin. But Sean Crapo's also in this, and he won his first heat.
That is very true. He'll be way outside here. Then we're going to take a look. There's Malinowski. There is Martin. Those are the 3 guys that are going to be very crucial to watch.
And you saw the numbers. Average age of this heat is 20.5 years old. Look at that kick to settle the back end of the sled. That track with a max of 96 3/8 of an inch studs in it. Oh, this one's tight. They're bouncing off each other everywhere.
That is, I believe, out front. That is Martin. What a great hole shot for Martin. Superb launch, and Crapo sitting in the 4th spot right now on the outside that second green sled.
But Martin really had to fight for the hole shot, and now it's LaValle and Malinowski battling for second. LaValle, who we thought was iffy on the ride, and yet here he is up at the front.
LaValle has a torn ACL in one of his knees. The fact he's riding is unbelievable, and the fact that he just made a pass for second.
They go back and forth in second place. Malinowski on number 4, LaValle on number 108. Now remember the whole game here. As we look out the front of Malinowski's sled, the whole game here is to try and win both of your heats. 1 point for second, 1 point for first, 2 for second, 3 for third. They add them together, and the top 16 lowest point getters, they move on to the semifinals and eventually the gold.
Oh, and that second skidoo with Steve Taylor, he just got into the side of LaValle and went over. He had worked his way up from a bump at the start and dropped back. And is that LaValle? That went down as well as a result.
Taylor, and it appears to be LaValle. And that takes the pressure off of Martin and moves Crapo into second.
And Matt Boron, unbelievable story. A guy who runs out of a smaller circuit out east, the Rock Maple Racing Circuit, has found himself as a result of that contact right there, running on that yellow skidoo in the 3rd spot. An amazing story. And Malinowski's dropping like a brick. Something wrong with Malinowski.
Don't forget the Super Pipe Final is coming up. And you think this is exciting? That's going to be good too.
Watching the action here, and it is still Sean Crapo sitting in second. Great look at Sean, one of the most silky smooth and comfortable guys in the air. Few fly quite like he does. But look at behind him, Boron, and that other yellow skidoo is Jeff Arsenault, a semi-pro on the Rock Maple Circuit who was trying to make a name here. What a story.
Yeah, remember, we were talking about where the youths are going to end up in this thing. Martin right now checked out. Another rider off.
That is Arsenault. You know, right as I said, he was trying to make a name. I thought I saw his sled kick a little bit, but I thought he saved it. Apparently not, and he looks a little shaken up.
So Arsenault dropped through the field. And up at the front, Steve Martin, part of the whole youth movement thing, 20 years old.
Remember, even though he hurt his wrist in that practice crash, he, in that first round of qualifying earlier, won his heat. He's going for a sweep.
Oh, these guys are amazing. They take these spectacular crashes, a lot of pain, and then they just get up and ride. 20-year-old Steve Martin, Evanston, Wyoming, on his way to the checkered, and he celebrates it. Martin, then Crapo, and Matt Boron is going to come across the line in third. Those are your top 3. So that's back-to-back wins for Martin. And, of course, Sean Crapo also won his first heat. So there are the young guys right there, Greg.
And that guy in fourth in that red Polaris a year ago was running sport class. He's now a semi-pro, but qualified for X, finishes top 4.
Well, when you sweep your heats like that, that's definitely putting you on. Let's go back and look at some of the action.
And there was some spectacular action without a doubt. Watch right here now, that Steve Taylor on the yellow skidoo gets underneath LaValle. Taylor goes over and it pulls LaValle right off his sled. And immediately LaValle looks back at Taylor, goes, "You okay?" Then looks back to watch a traffic coming at him. Now we're going to watch it from an onboard view, looking out the back. Watch this moment here. Bang, there's the hit, and LaValle, he's off his sled. There he is, middle of the hill right there, looking back. Now, that is a huge up right here by Arsenault. Hit that kicker wrong, got out of rhythm, and the sled pancakes him right on the back of the legs. That is, I'll tell you what, that's smart. He crawled off the track, but very slowly.
Yeah, that's a 435-pound plus sled with a nasty track on it. You definitely want to get away. But there's qualifying round 2, heat 2, with Martin and Crapo both who scored wins in their first round, and Martin now sweeping. Blair Morgan relaxes with the paintball wars. We'll talk with the Deadeye about that a little bit later. And with 29-year-old Blair Morgan, who is looking for yet another gold, maybe a little redemption from last year. Now, last year, Superman, as they call him, felt the tug on his cape. Blair Morgan has the gold. It's gold to Morgan. Blair Morgan is just unbelievable.
The paintball thing is something that's different from racing, but it is competitive still. I just don't like losing. I definitely feel like I'm getting hunted everywhere I go. They don't want to see the same guy winning all the time. Everyone's trying to take shots at me.
Morgan trying to force. They are tied up.
For me, the target would be extra motivation. It just drives me to work harder at it.
A three-time gold medalist. Look at Morgan.
On the racetrack, I'm not afraid of anything. It's a big mental game out there, and if you've got someone beat before they hit the star line, it's even easier to win. I do whatever it takes to win. If it means, putting someone over a corner or knocking someone around a bit, I try not to be arrogant. It's just the way you got to be a winner out there. Got my collection of one of each color. I need to just continue with the golds now.
So you see Blair Morgan coming. Look at the record. Only rider that has ever been in all 7 of the finals. He is remarkable. And what do you think about Blair Morgan on our instant poll, the Taco Bell EXPN.com poll? Will he win gold? What do you think? 63% yay! Oh, well, we'll see. There's a lot of guys voting on that 37% side. Now the Mountain Dew 8-pack. We're going to highlight here, of course, Morgan, but also Tomi Amasalo.
Well, for one, they both won their heats in the first round. For two, Amasalo, the oldest guy here, Morgan, the second oldest. So we're talking experience. There is Morgan, there is Amasalo. It's that simple. Two of them near the middle, and they're going to launch together into that first turn to head up the hill. This should be interesting.
Flags up. Final check. Gap in the middle of the line. No problem with that. Our Edge fly cam takes a look down from the start.
And what, as we saw frequently in the first round of qualifying while we watched it, a semi-pro got the whole shot. That's DJ Eckery. But number 9, Kurt Crapo, shot underneath both Eckery and Morgan and picked the lead up at the top of the hill.
Oh, yeah, the second of the Crapo clan out in front. This is Kurt. But he can hear 7C Blair Morgan right behind him. You look at him right there.
I talked to Morgan during practice, and I asked him, you've only got 2 wins in the races leading up to this event on the national tour, and he said, I just got to focus a little bit more. I feel good. And even so, in the Pro Open category, out of 12 qualifying heats, he had won 10 of them. So it's not like he's sloughing. Just not quite where he wants to be off the line. Kurt Crapo, right there, that first sled, the green buggy coming at you. What a great story. Healthy here for the first time in a while, and it's showing.
And that yellow sled in second place carrying the infamous and famous 7C, of course, in Blair Morgan. And he's not letting Crapo get away.
You hear that Jaws music starting to play a little bit?
Exactly. Superman, Air Blair cuts to the edge of the course. He's hit 2 of the tough blocks now. Keeps going, no penalty with that. The penalty is the fact you hit him.
Yeah, that just slows you up, messes up your momentum a little bit. Now, bottom of the hill, look at the way that Morgan squared that corner up. Right now, he's trying to get his run and do that double. But look at Crapo on front, Paul, that green Arctic Cat leading away. That timing up there has been just superb for Curtis.
Kurt Crapo is doing a superb job. Blair Morgan's reeling him in slowly but surely. But will he have enough time? We're coming to the end of the run. Oh! And Morgan grabs it!
That is what you call a park pass. Got underneath Crapo, just stuffed him, stopped both momentum. Morgan had the inside, able to get out of the turn first.
So Morgan takes over the lead. Crapo drops to second place. Sir James sits in third on 127.
And for Crapo, this second place, he can't afford a mistake. Fifth in his first round of qualifying. With that point structure, he needs a very good finish here to have a shot at that final 16.
On the final lap, Tommy Amasalo, who won his first heat, is sitting back in sixth place on the scoreboard. First is Morgan, the yellow sled. Now there goes Kurt Crapo. Here comes Morgan again.
That's over that 105-foot gap jump. Then this little kicker at the bottom, kind of an annoyance, really. Ruins your line going into this turn at the bottom, so you have to deal with it. Now the minefield, no rhythm, nothing but chop on your way up. The only right-hander on the course coming right here. And then, of course, a couple of doubles and a big finish line jump for Morgan.
And we'll see how he celebrates this time. And Blair Morgan, oh yeah, I did it. Followed by Kurt Crapo. And then look at the distance all the way back. That's Sir James.
That red Polaris, that next yellow sled is Amasalo. Won his first round, sixth in this heat. He had huge problems from the start of this one.
And 12 seconds behind the winner, Blair Morgan. So now Morgan, too, has won both of his heats. We'll go back and look at the start.
And watch for it right here. You can see Morgan right in the middle actually got into the side of Amasalo, and that allowed Ekri, that green Arctic Cat, first to the turn. There's Amasalo's problems. Gets weeded way out there, and he never recovered from that problem. And Morgan came up. There is Kurt Crapo, had already gone by and picked up the lead. Morgan hitting those tough blocks, slowed him up. But the amazing Blair Morgan able to rectify that fairly quickly. A lap later, watch this run over the huge flyaway. Just gassed it, landed way down on the slope, and then he just stayed lower. Did you notice that? He stayed lower over that last jump, straight lined into the turn, parked Crapo. That was it. Morgan's grinning in victory circle.
Oh, you bet he is, and we've seen that grin many, many times before. If it's a battle of the ages, and 29-year-old Blair Morgan showed that he's still got all of it. But what about now Tucker Hibbert? He comes up in the next. It is the final heat of competition, and Hibbert is one stone-cold racer. Now she's down right at the start line watching Tucker Hibbert in the last heat. He finished in third on his first one, and Jamie Little, Tucker last Snocross 1 year ago.
That's right, Paul. It's actually been 369 days to be exact, but he's back. You can't count him out. He's been racing motocross, supercross. He's in the best shape of his life, but it's his natural ability on the snowmobile that keeps him winning medals year in and year out.
So with Tucker Hibbert ready to go on the monster sled, here is the Edge 8-pack.
And there is Hibbert. You have to keep an eye on him, of course. He has looked so good in practice, although a third and a mistake in that first round of qualifying. Rather interesting. But a couple other guys there, Shabitsky, Kuster, both need good finishes. The interesting story is there's Hibbert on that monster machine way outside. The other guy to watch for, right there, Carl Kuster, a fourth. He needs a big finish here.
A very great start. In fact, he's dropped almost the last. Now moves up into sixth place. Belzile gets the whole shot.
He is dead last, as a matter of fact.
Oh, he's in trouble.
That was 203. Sean Nutt on the yellow Skidoo has gotten into it with the Arctic Cat of Jeff Snow, who had a third. Bad problems for Snow. He had a shot at this, making the final round as a semi-pro.
And the rest of the field is coming fast, now led by Carl Kuster, then Shabitsky. Bazile has dropped down to third place. Hibbert is fourth.
And Carl Kuster doing exactly what he needed to do. Got a good start off the line. Shabitsky going with him. But Tucker Hibbert, with that problem for Nutt and Snow, has moved up at least in the fourth.
There comes Kuster behind him, that's Shibitsky on 96. Then Belzile, and that black sled, you're on board with him now, is Tucker Hibbert.
Great onboard shots in that Monster Energy drink machine, and he has got a job. But you can see that Belzile has a pretty good margin over Hibbert right now, over a second, although Hibbert is starting to chew up at it in a big hurry. You can see he's getting close because he's getting Belzile's roost in his face. He's coming.
And as you said earlier, visibility then becomes a pretty serious problem. Those onboards also show you, as you look at 47C Kuster, the violence of these rides. Back on board. Fourth place, Tucker Hibbert. 3.6 seconds behind the leader. Right now he's doing worse than he did in the very first heat of his qualifying. Shaun White's redemption coming up next. But stay here right now and put the remote down and keep away from it.
And Hibbert is coming after Belzile. There's Belzile. Hibbert right on his tail flap right now.
Again, these races are so short.
Oh, Belzile in the
4 laps. And that's going to cost Belzile and cost him big. He gets up third place to 68 Tucker Hibbert.
Belzile pounded into the face of one of those sort of rollers over in the minefield. Cost him momentum. Hibbert doubled right by him.
The blue sled on Trubisky, black sled, blue leather, is Hibbert's next target.
Oh, did he get the pass done before the yellow? He did not.
No.
He has to sit back now behind Shibitsky. Nicely done by Tucker.
But now
for him to do it now.
Yeah, now he's clear to run, but he's running out of time and distance. Kuster is the leader by a full 2.5 seconds. Here he comes. This is going to be where he has corner. Cut to the inside. Nail the power. But no, it doesn't work. And here it works. Now he's got an inside run to the final turn. Hibbert is second behind Kuster. Kuster takes the checkered and the win. Hibbert with a second, and a hard-fought second at that. Unbelievable. A year off, and then he does this.
Well, and I'll tell you, that pass he made, he went underneath in that one turn. Shibitsky countered, tried to defend it, messed Shibitsky up going into the minefield. Tucker had that line figured out through the minefield. Absolutely amazing what he pulled off.
That's the psychology of road racing anywhere. Now look at this on the hole shot.
Now Hibbert, watch him. He gets bumped in the back by Shibitsky. Then he gets squeezed way out wide by that Arctic Cat. Meanwhile, Kuster, a nice job, cut down underneath everybody. Got a good start. Hibbert on the back. See, he's off form right back there, but he saves it. Look at this pass for second. He gets underneath Shibitsky. Shibitsky shuts the door, but now Shibitsky's out of rhythm in the minefield, and Hibbert double into that next turn. He's there. He's got second.
So now we have a stage set for the semifinals and eventually the gold. That's all tomorrow night. There's the 16 who will advance to the semifinal round in our coverage tomorrow evening. And Sal, we've only gotten a small taste of what Snocross can do at Winter X Games 9. It's Snocross, and the face of Snocross is changing. They're the legends like Blair Morgan, the winningest in Snocross, a 3-time X gold medalist, and Tucker Hibbert, who won gold when he was just 15, but now only races Snocross once a year, but they're the challengers. The youths, we call them, the young guys, like Crapo and Martin. It's a showdown. And the crowd now moves over to Circuit X for the semifinals of Snocross. The biggest event in the Snocross season, the Super Bowl of sleds. Moments ago, Blair Morgan did his final walk, his lone look at the course. He's coming up in this semi. And then there's the reigning gold medalist, young Mike Island, who is racing after a big crash on Sunday. He said his whole body hurt.
Well, this track perhaps the best ever here at Winter X. You start a big left-hander up into the roller section. We'll talk more about that. It's crucial in just a bit. Top of the hill, over a little kicker, then the biggest air jump there, 105 feet. peak to peak. It's 120 peak to sweet spot. You want to see sweet? We give you the yellow sled of the master, Blair Morgan. Perfect form in the air, but watch this landing. The sled is perfectly placed. Watch the roost. He is on the throttle when he lands. No bounce. Great acceleration. Blows by Kurt Crayfo. Makes the pass at the bottom. Then you go into the minefield. A lot of chop. You got to find a line. Two options here. You can go outside and do the triple, or inside do a double-double. But when you get there, no options. It's another big gap jump, 85 feet. To show you how to do this, we give you another legend, Tucker Hibbert. Watch this. Perfectly landed, drives right down the inside of young Ryan Simons. That was for second. Looks like Hibbert's dialed, making the big moves. But watch this, into that crucial roller section. He overjumps the first pair, pancakes the middle, momentum gone. Simons goes by. By the time he got to the top of that hill through those rollers, Hibbert had lost 2 spots. The goal could be won or lost right there.
Well, Greg, it's the big moment now. The finals coming up, and the final events in X Games 9. Now, here's what Snocross semifinals are about. Top 4 from each heat goes right to the final. Bottom 4 to the LCQ. Top 2 from the LCQ tired, but they get to race in the final as well. So there's the lineup, and there are 4 heat winners here.
Oh, this one is stacked. Morgan undefeated. Island the fastest qualifier, over a 4-lap run by 1/10 of a second. Kuster and Amasala won their heats. Unbelievable. Now, let's take a look, and we're going to show you. Morgan and Island have elected to stay close to the inside. Next to them are those other 2 gentlemen we just talked about. Inside's the game.
As we take a look from the Mountain Dew fly cam, ready for the start. Lines clear. Morgan and Island battle it, but neither one is going to be able to take advantage of it.
Paul, we saw this in practice and in the early rounds. A semi-pro got the whole shot. That is Jeff Snow out of Redmond, Oregon, who got the launch.
And that little mix-up in the turn pays off for Snow. They come down the hill. Snocross, contact finals, and this is the kind of action we're going to see the rest of the evening. The Super Bowl of sleds, the final go in the snow, and they're all looking for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, some of our major players are not in that top 4 right now, and this guy, Jeff Snow, in 2003 showed up at the National Opener in Duluth. Nobody had even heard of him. He won a big race at that event and opened some eyes. People were wondering, does he really belong here? He's still only a semi-pro. You bet.
And look at him come down the hill. We're showing you a highlight of the top 4. Those are the guys that will transfer to the final. Morgan, Amasalo, they are battling. Shabinski is in there well in the blue sled. That's Shabinski 96 just going through the picture.
Huge air we're watching is Shabinski on that sled trying to make up some ground as we go on board with Tommy Amasalo, oldest guy running in Snocross and running third. That's a transfer.
Tommy Amasalo is an enormous guy, big, strong. He controls these 435-pound sleds. They just throw them through the air.
Oh, and that is Shabinski almost tipped over, Paul, trying to make the move, and coming after him up is Mike Island. Shabinski, the lead sled in the frame. Mike Island, the defending champ, trapped outside.
They continue to hammer at one another. Coming up the hill, Island, Shabinski. Island rides number 8. There's Morgan working on Snow at the front. And just beginning now to pull Snow in. Man, can you imagine if he even knows who that is behind him?
Sorry, Paul, Snow got very close up at the bottom jump. Morgan has gone by and underneath, but that battle we're watching. Right there, you see Amasalo. Oh, he messed up his rhythm. There goes Shabinski, the black flag.
Amasalo and Shabinski, they battle. That's a transfer there at fourth place. They get crossed up once again.
Amasalo got bottled up the yellow sled, second in the frame, and Island got a run at him. That's Island you're just seeing. That's the battle for that transfer spot.
Desperately, nobody wants to go to the LCQ, even though it is a last dance. It also means another long race, and you'll be totally exhausted. Elevation here, nearly 8,000 feet. Amasalo comes up and just gives him a bump. Get out of my way.
Amasalo into the back of Shabinski. This is some great stuff. But right behind Amasalo is Mike Island, and that is crucial. Down through that turn at the bottom of the hill, there's Morgan. He's way out front right now.
Yeah, Morgan's got it all with 2 laps to go. There's Snow, still giving it a great ride.
Island got underneath. Oh, but Island almost crashed. That's Shabinski we're watching on the black sled. But Island, this next sled, the blue one right there, he has found fourth and a transfer.
Island sits right where he wants to be. The blue and black number 8. But it's hardly over for Island. He's back under attack. That's Amasello on the yellow sled. Number 27, and he's closing.
Well, Amasello, when you get into rough chop, nobody is better. Don't count the Finn out of this one just yet.
The crowd loves it as they move into the 5th lap. Amasello still trying to pick up that spot. 8 is 4th place. Top 4 transfer. 8 is Mike Island, the defending gold medalist. Right behind him, Tommy Amasello on 27.
That's Island. There's Morgan. First slide. He's
Show off. But then he can do it.
Next sled, the green and black, that's Snow. Then that dark black sled is Shabinski. There is Island. That's your top 4. They've in fact drawn away from Amasello and are closing on this guy, the young semi-pro. What a story in second, Jeff Snow.
Amasello's got some distance now to make up, and it's doubtful that he can do it. But then again, Winter X Games always creates the unusual. Morgan takes the checker, takes the win, and here comes the fight, though no fight really at all. It's Morgan, Snow, Shabinski, and Mike Island. They will all move directly into the final. Unfortunately, the other 4, they're going to have to look for the LCQ, the hooligan, the last chance qualifier, and they are going to be exhausted. Back to look at the whole shot.
Watch this guy outside as Jeff Snow launches. Little bump. Doesn't bother the semi-pro and just rips the whole shot. Everybody else bottles up. You can see Island actually in second, but it wasn't to last. He dropped back badly. Look at this move now. Morgan, the sled on the left, the yellow one. You saw Snow get crossed up, floated way high. Morgan just ramped down underneath. That's called a park pass. Beautifully done. Morgan now in the lead. Now look at this. We're on board with Tommy Amasello and just gets railed right there as Island goes by. Look at the roost he is going to eat right there. Visibility when you're back in the pack, brutal.
Now Blair Morgan has not lost one yet. He won both of his qualifiers. Now he's won the semifinals. Riding Air Blair, they've begun to call him now, the Superman. Those top 4 go to the final, and Sal, the other 4 have to go the LCQ.
Well, Paul, looks to me like Blair Morgan loves to come from behind. He doesn't care about the whole shot. He'll reel you right on in. Well, guys, more Snocross is coming up.
Are the veterans, guys like Blair Morgan and Tucker Hibbert, who says, come on, I only race once a year, but I'm ready. And then the Utes, guys like Steve Martin. People to watch. We'll take you down line side now, Jamie Little.
Well, Paul, Tucker Hibbert returned to Snocross last night after more than a year off, but last night he struggled with his starts. He failed to win a heat race. However, Steve Martin was able to win both heat races coming in as the underdog. Now, unfortunately, he's better known for his crashes. Take a look at this one from last year.
It threw me into the handlebars, and I couldn't get off the gas. I was just pinned up against the bars, and it drug me off the face of the next jump, and I just flew through the air and landed on the back of my neck, and it actually broke my back, so that was pretty much the end of my season right there. If I worry about getting hurt on a snowmobile, I won't be as fast, so you just kind of have to block it out and let it rip.
Well, it can't have hurt him too bad. He's won both of his qualifiers.
After 2 crashes in practice, that hurt his wrist, so he's dug down deep. Sean Crapo also a win in second. A lot of people think this could be his year, but you got Hibbert, you got Ekstrom. It is another obviously stacked race, and we're going to get ready to go right now. Now, take a look way to the inside, Tucker Hibbert. That's going to be one of the stories, but you also have Martin, and you've also got the other gentleman that we've been talking about, Sean Crapo. It's going to be a heck of a race.
Again, the line that Hibbert chose, same as Blair Morgan, didn't work for him. If you look from the Taco Bell fly cam.
That's Crapo, nailed it from the outside.
Hibbert's buried well back. They all get into the block.
That was Tucker Hibbert streaming up the inside, Paul, moving out tough blocks, trying anything to get to the front.
Tucker Hibbert, the black number 68, just coming through the turn, cut to the inside. Already has himself in perfect position. Fourth place, top 4 transfer, you're on board.
That's that roost we're talking about. We're watching Tucker looking back at him, and all that junk in his face is coming from sleds in front. Pretty clear right now, but there it is, man. That is brutal.
And if you want to get into the fight, you've got to take the snow in the face. Crapo, X from Hibbert, and then Kurt Crapo, top 4.
Oh, Kurt Crapo tucked way tight around that turn. That is that last transfer spot. And as a result, we're watching Crapo right there, protecting that inside line. He doesn't want anybody to come streaming up the inside of him.
Sean Crapo leads him up the hill. Then Ekstrom. Then Hibbert. Then Kurt.
That is Kurt Crapo we're looking at face on right now. That's Hibbert to the outside, the black sled, trying to do something, gain another spot on Ekstrom. There's no point in risking it to do so. If you're in the top 4, you're in.
Yeah, exactly right. Top 4 positions, that's all that matters. You gain absolutely nothing by positioning here, but look at Hibbert. Well, he's been out a year as he works on Ekstrom number 25. Maybe he's decided I need all the racing I can get.
Well, Hibbert, the second sled in the frame. Now, he's taking a run down the inside. That's twice now. He's looked inside of Ekstrom and hasn't been able to get it. Hibbert's still got enough race marks. He backs out before he drives his skis into the back and potentially tips. He's running pretty smart right now. First sled, that is Ekstrom that we're watching. Then it's Hibbert, then Crapo.
First guy on the other side of the cut in 5th place is 67, Simon.
Oh, look at it, Hibbert, wow! But look at Ekstrom come right back. Ekstrom on that dark black sled with the blue bib. Hibbert on the all black. Now Hibbert, he hasn't raced for what, 369 days until we started racing yesterday. Side by side with Ekstrom.
Ekstrom, 25, pulling the nose ahead of Hibbert, 370, but who's counting? Hibbert, 68. Look behind him, though. Yeah, watch him do it. No. All right. Drag race up the hill.
You know what? Ekstrom was watching for a cut under from Hibbert, and Hibbert said, fine, I'll ramp the outside. That all-black Monster Energy drink machine is now second.
You know, Hibbert's been doing that on a regular basis in practice, cutting to the inside. Everybody's seen it, and then suddenly uses an entirely different line.
I believe that's called setting them up.
Psyching them up, setting them up, and gone. Sean Crapo, Hibbert, Ekstrom, and Kurt Crapo, top 4.
That's Kurt. Right behind him is Ryan Simons. A lot of people think Ryan Simons could be a future big star, and he is starting to put some pressure on Crapo. Problem is, he's running out of time.
Yeah, 5th of the 6th lap.
That's Simons, who just landed hard. You can see how far he's jumping. He's doing anything he can to get by basically his teammate. They both race out of the same team. On those leg and pet cats.
Here he comes. Oh, into a tough spot. That might be the end of it. No, he's coming right back.
I think had he not got into that block, he had a great run on Crapo. That's Simons right there. Crapo right in front of him. This is it. Last lap.
Kurt Crapo knows he's there, leans into the throttle. There's Hibbert in second. Ekstrom, Kurt Crapo coming down the hill now. Simon's right behind him.
Boy, these two green cats from the same team, they are going after it. Right here, the all-black machine of Hibbert. There's the black and blue sled. That's Ekstrom. Crapo, his response ball to the pressure from Simons has been to close up a little bit on Ekstrom, drive away from his teammate.
And Crapo! What'd he do?
a sequence in the minefield, and that Arctic Cat bucked him off.
Kurt Crapo throws it away, going for the last turn. Simons takes over fourth and transfers.
He's up and walking. I think that long pause while he was sitting there, Paul, was just, he couldn't believe it. It was dejection and absolute surprise.
It wasn't that bad of an off, but, you know, overall, the last couple seconds and bang, it all changes. That's what Winter X Games is all about. Now let's look right down at the front.
Now watch, way up in the front, right there. You see, he just got crossed up over one of the jumps, almost saved it, then had to bail because his balance was gone. Simons, fortunately, was back far enough. He was able to cut underneath and actually get through without clipping his teammate. Here it is again. See, just out of rhythm, and that was it. Last thing, the last one just bucked the back of the sled out. Kurt couldn't, believe me, Kurt is a strong guy, and he just couldn't hang on to it. And there goes Simons underneath for the transfer.
You know, and right behind that, 74, Belzile has to make a very big decision which way he's going. So Crapo, Sean, Hibbert, Ekstrom, and Simons all transfer direct to the final. Desperate men do desperate things, and we're at the last chance qualifier. I'm Paul Page with Greg Kramer and Jamie Little. Snocross at Winter X Games 9. Blair Morgan, legendary man in the sport, winningest ever. He's in the final. And his nemesis, only racing once a year now in snowcross, focusing on motocross, Tucker Hibbert, he's in. But the question is, guys, like the veteran 26-year-old Kurt Crapo, a tiny mistake before the final corner sent him to the last chance qualifier. And how about 20-year-old Steve Martin, who was winning everything in terms of qualifying, and then all of a sudden he couldn't make it, so he's in the last chance qualifier. And there's the lineup. Tomi Amasalo withdrew because of a bad knee.
And we highlight Carl Kuster for one reason. If he gets a good hole shot, he is Mr. Smooth. He is very fast. He is going to be a guy to keep a very, very close eye on. The starting lineup, this is going to be a good one. And obviously, you got to think about Crapo, you got to think about Martin, and you got to watch for Kuster. And it's all about the hole shot.
Doug Morrissey has the flag, gives him the green. The top two is all we care about. They're the ones that advance. Ken Allard jumps out on the hole shot.
That's Martin with him. Martin on the inside. He got hit by Belzile.
Martin sweeping around the end.
That first sled coming at you is Steve Martin. He made it work.
First and second. That's all that matters. They're the only ones that will transfer and get a chance to run with the other 8 for the gold.
Look at that first sled.
Take a look at the Quicksilver fly cam looking at that number 1.
That's right, and the guy on the outside was his teammate. That's Dave Allard. So an amazing run there, but Martin now opening it up.
The fight is going to be in second place.
Oh, and it's a big fight. That's Carl Kuster, the sled to your left, working the inside of Allard for that final transfer.
Allard number 167. Kuster is very famous 47C. Right now he's got the spot.
Allard back in third right now as we watch them coming in. That's Allard. Oh, did he pound that top of that bank? He's carrying a lot of speed, trying to fend off his fellow Quebecois, Simon Belzile. Right behind him, there's Allard. That's Kuster, the outside in second.
Looking back from Carl Kuster. That's the third place battle, and unless it becomes second place, it won't matter at all.
Well, I tell you, once Carl got in front, he is not drawn away from Allard, and Allard working his left shoulder just a little bit.
Allard's right there. That black and yellow sled. Again, looking back from Kuster.
This battle for second, third, and fourth is everything right now. If you're second, you're in. If you're third, you're watching right there. Oh! Simon Belzile, a huge endo pole.
He gets right back up, and fortunately all the sleds get past. Doesn't matter now.
You said desperate men do desperate things. Belzile knew his desperate situation.
Gambled and lost. Martin Kuster, they're the transfer right now. That's Kuster. They're calling that a honeycomb paint job on the sled. It's just the opposite in colors from Blair Morgan 7C. Blair Morgan, of course, already in the final.
Yeah, they're teammates, and they're called the Super Bees, so they put the honeycomb on them. I'm very impressed. The third sled in this battle right now is Dave Allard. There's Kuster, there's Allard, just out of your frame on your left. And Allard has not let Kuster go. There's still 2 laps left in this one.
Kurt Crapo, way back. Not going to finish this thing to matter at all. That's a pretty amazing fact, too.
He didn't get a great start, and he just hasn't been able to do anything with it. And, you know, his confidence may have been shaken. He may have been slightly dinged in that crash.
167 Allard, third place. Third place doesn't matter.
Allard looking very good off of that flyaway, but I've been watching him in some other spots, Paul. He's been over-jumping a little bit. He's starting to feel the pressure. He's pushing, and as a result, he's casing stuff that slows your momentum down. That's Martin we're watching. Kuster, you can see, has actually closed up just a little bit, but Allard, right there, has fallen well back.
Yeah, but the whole thing is coming out exactly the way that you set it up as they take the white flag on start the final lap. You've got Martin, 20 years old, out in front, had to go to this last chance qualifier. Top 2 will move into the final, and then the veteran, Carl Kuster on 47C. There he is. It's again youth and veterans.
Paul, I got to say it, that last run through the rollers, about halfway through, Kuster got away with one. He cased the top a little bit and was able to keep his momentum up. It was very close to being a huge mistake, but the veteran, as you said, he saved it.
First and second, Martin Kuster, final seconds now of the last chance qualifier. And there will be no battle for that decision. Exhausted though they are, Martin and Kuster will move to the final. Now remember too, nearly 8,000 feet of elevation here at Aspen. The air is thin, the sleds don't breathe well, and it's not easy if you're one of the racers as well. We'll go back and show you that one rather spectacular problem.
Watch Belzile right there, that sled to your left, just hit it, cased into the front of it. It ratcheted the sled sideways, and he was off before he really even knew what happened. He actually didn't come off too hard. The sled did a great cartwheel by everybody. Another look at it here. Watch from Kuster at the back. There goes, boom! Off he went.
It never ceases to amaze me that they just jump up and walk away from action like that. Martin and Kuster join the rest in the fight of the final.
The showdown in the final, Blair Morgan remains perfect. He's won all of his qualifiers. He wants redemption. He wants that gold medal. But Tucker Hibbert, after that long layoff, he has made a comeback, and gold is sounding sweet after 5 years. But it's this man, Steve Martin, we've been talking about tonight. You had to earn it tonight. Steve, tell us what the difference was in your LCQ.
I just got the hole shot. I spun in my semi, and Tucker kind of cut the track, moved a bunch of hay bales out of the way, and put it out of the corner. So I just got the start this time and used my head.
I know you've been here at Snocross and Winter X a few times. You haven't had the best of luck. What is it like being here going into the final?
Really, that's just my goal. I got hurt last year, so just being in the final, it feels really good. And I'm just happy to be here. Hopefully I can put something together.
All right, go get him. Steve Martin, guys, be watching. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah, at 21 of the young guys, Jamie. So is Sean Crapo. He's in the final, and then there are the veterans like Blair Morgan. And, of course, Tucker Hibbert. They're going to be hammering at each other once again. And what about Mike Island? He is riding in pain. Can he do it again? He was the gold medalist last year. All of those ideas will be resolved when the final is finished. This is it. The final medals to be handed out at Winter X Games 9. And the Snocross guys are it. They've made their parade. They're coming to the line, taking their position, ready to go. Coming up next, Sports Center. Linda, Steve, Fred, they're all set to go. Winter X Games 9 to wrap up. More Lakers turmoil. And looking ahead to the Super Bowl. Can they talk the talk? Or can they walk the walk? It's all coming up next. But, boy, do we have something for you before that. The final in Snocross. This is the Super Bowl, the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, the NBA Finals. They're all rolled into one right here for these guys who primarily come from the upper Midwest. Jamie Little is on the line watching.
Well, Paul, if you talk to any of these riders, they say it's all about the start. Now, Blair Morgan and Tucker Hibbert have not gotten good starts tonight. Now, you'll see Carl Kuster here, or Blair Morgan, actually, he's on the inside. I've been seeing these guys get pinched off here. Tucker Hibbert's right down the middle. Guys, what do you think? It's all about the start here tonight.
Well, it seems to have been exactly that as we take a look at the DC Shoes lineup, but it's also on not making a mistake.
That's absolutely correct. And I mean, this is one of the best fields we've had in a long time as you take a look at it. Morgan inside, Island, then Crapo. That fourth sled is Hibbert. It took a long time for him. He looked and looked and looked at that far outside line where we've seen some great starts. He decided, nah, I'm going to go right there. Tucker Hibbert decided to slot dead center.
There's the final check. The final is ready. And here we go. Morgan down on the inside. Whoa, one sled way over, a second off.
And Paul Tucker Hibbert hit the brake, cut underneath. Hibbert, a brilliant move at the start. It's Morgan and Hibbert 1-2.
Morgan, Hibbert. That was Shabitsky and Snow that got in trouble there.
Well, when you pin it for the launch at the biggest event of the year, you're going to hold on longer than you've ever held on in your life. That's exactly what happened. But now we watch Morgan out front and Hibbert, a brilliant move at the start.
And Greg and Jamie, I mean, you guys hit it. Morgan, then Hibbert, 1-2. And then you, Martin, and Mike Island, the reigning gold medalist. Oh, and Island! Oh, no, so he's out of there. Remember the mistake thing? You can't make them in any form. The race is too short.
And that was, guess where? That roller section we've talked about before. It just came off. Morgan out front is diabolical. Oh, Hibbert almost lost it over the flyaway ball.
Hibbert, the all-solid black sled. There he is right there. Right now we're showing Island and Shabitsky out. So the reigning medalist, gold medalist, is out. Shabitsky was that problem right there at the start.
Hibbert is probably amped beyond belief on that Monster Energy drink machine, trying to run down that cold wave skidoo of Morgan. And look at the margin those two have opened up already. Cream rising to the top, and I mean floating away right now.
Already working at the halfway distance. Back to third place, Martin. Look at the interval. Blair Morgan takes the corner. There is Hibbert following up the hill. Hibbert only races in Snocross once a year now.
But look how close he's closing up. Hibbert is not only staying with Morgan, he is racing him very hard right now. And believe me, he's studying everything Morgan's doing, looking for any opportunity.
Last year, these two battled, but it was for second place behind Mike Island. That resulted with Hibbert getting ahead of Morgan. But how many times at Winter X Games, how many times in WSA competition have we seen these two hammer at one another?
You know, this whole X Games has been filled with stories of redemption. Morgan's after the not getting the four-peat last year coming back. Hibbert after not seeing gold since 2000. These guys are the best, but they're both looking for a little bit of redemption here, and Hibbert continues to chip away at Morgan. Look how close.
Under braking, he comes down on Morgan, closes up a bit more. On lap 5 now. Now remember, both of these guys throughout the practice sessions have worked with one another, tried to psych one another, tried to show one another. Here's what I can do here. Show them this move, thinking they'll do it. Hibbert closes on the 7C of Morgan.
Yeah, they were sizing each other up. They were psyching each other. Hibbert!
This was a corner that was right to the inside. He tries to cut down. It doesn't work.
In that corner, we saw him play a lot of games in practice, and now it's coming to fruition here. Look at the outside move!
Hibbert tries the outside again, but is he setting him up to duck inside on the final lap? Who knows? We're about to.
Watch this uphill run through the rollers. One mistake by either one. Boy, pressure right now. Hibbert swings outside, Paul.
Morgan the yellow sled, Hibbert the black sled. Classic confrontation. He still kind of keeps it to the outside. Racing for the checkers.
Hibbert again moves outside.
Now will he turn in? Not gonna work.
But Hibbert went way up on the bank looking for exit speed for this run. Morgan's much smoother. Morgan much smoother.
Hibbert drops back. And Morgan takes his 4th gold medal. And here's the battle for bronze. And there is the young Steve Martin. You know what? Every year these guys do it. There's the experience. There's the veterans. And 20-year-old Steve Martin comes home with a bronze medal.
Probably the best, without a doubt, snowcross race at Winter X we've ever seen. But I do want to point out, the guys in 3rd and 4th came from the last chance qualifier. Watch this. First of all, we got 2 guys that crashed. But look at right there, Hibbert. You see him in the middle. Backs way off. Morgan's going to sweep the field. Look at Hibbert cut underneath. That was a great piece of racecraft. Couple of guys go off. One way off over there. That is off way past the pole and the fencing. Both of them, fortunately, are okay. Now, Mike Island, problems as well. Tries to do a cut under move. Gassed it, all that power, about 180 horse, while the sled was on its side, torqued out from underneath him. This was the moment right here. Hibbert, right, watch it right here. Over jumps, bang, bang. Morgan is doubling. Hibbert's momentum killed. That's the story of this one right there.
The mistakes, so very costly when you're going for the gold. And there's Morgan. You can imagine the smile on the Canadian's face. Though he's not as showy as normally he is in a finish, I think he was still very worried about what was right behind him.
During practice, I asked Blair Morgan, I said, you've only won 2 of the finals on the Nationals so far out of 8. What's up? And he said, I'm running well. I need to focus more. Guess what? Solid focus right here tonight.
Blair Morgan. He does it once again. He's got a collection of gold. It's just unbelievable. And what a great run it was, too. Martin gives him the handshake. Nice going, boss. Good run. Crowd's all moving down now to see the winner's interview and help celebrate with all of the snowcross racers. Jamie Little.
Well, Paul, I hate to use the word redemption, but one last time it has come true for this man. Blair Morgan, how sweet is this moment?
It's great. You know, I've had kind of a rough year so far, even last year, and feels good to win again. You know, I just focused on my start, and I got it, and it's all good.
What is it like being out there battling with Tucker Hibbert? It's only once a year you get to do this.
Yeah, it was. You know, we used to battle all the time, so it's kind of fun. You know, we had good, clean racing, and I kind of went into block mode halfway through the race, and I saw him right behind me, so it was fun.
How long have you been dreaming about getting this gold medal back?
Yeah, it's a long time waiting. Last year, I felt I was riding good and everything. I just kind of got hung up with some people, but I feel good. I'm glad to get the skidoo front, and feels great.
Congratulations, Blair Morgan, 4-time gold medalist, Paul.
And he is redeemed for the finish of last year where he really thought he had gold as well. They battled at the front. Mistakes actually made the difference. Morgan made none. Perfection all the way to gold. Tucker Hibbert, one final little mistake, and it was all over. All right, Sal, you've done a great job bringing us through this. Now the sad time for you, buddy.
Yeah, it is a sad time now, buddy, but big congratulations to that man right there. Welcome back to All Access. Sailmaster Kayla and
Tita.
you were in our team's piece.
I was.
The Texas Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em game. Play some bets.
How many hours was that crazy shoot?
It's like 12 hours we were on the set.
Your character was really
drinking
strong.
Coffee. Yeah, you felt that?
Yeah. Can we
Really
take a look at
connected.
what it was like in your day?
Check it out.
All Access.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Good morning. I'm in LA, California, and you know who I am. I'm Mike Metzger. You're watching All Access, and we're getting ready to go to the show open shoot of Winter X Games Snocross. Come on.
I think we're playing some poker.
I don't play poker.
By no means am I a poker player. I want all those chips so I can cash them in nowhere. I think a little beginner's luck and I should have all their money.
I prefer not to wear makeup.
We're thinking about doing some, curling it and then doing some little bit of the cornrows maybe.
We're trying to work here.
Steve won't let us play with the real cards. Welcome to our high stakes game. Camera and action.
Mets has managed to screw up every single line of his
And everyone
as well as everybody else's. The main event. It's on now. Oh my God, I'm literally.
Do it again.
No more lunch breaks for Tanner.
What's my line?
See what I've been working with.
Try to be an extreme athlete and act.
Oh, see, look, this is real desperado sport that I'm on right now.
Hey Bob, you know your lines?
Not very well. In a time and place of severe conditions, we find an invitation to an extraordinary gathering.
It's been a long day.
Today has been great, but our pit boss, Donald Trump, couldn't be able to join us. Instead, he is in New York in front of a green screen, and then the shots will be added later.
Okay, ready? I'll do Life's a Gamble, and that's it. I'm going to add the word "and," okay? You like that, right? Pretty good actor, right? I mean, I got the #1 show on television. I should be good. There's a reason. Okay, let's go. Remember this. The best always leave with more than they came with. You like that? I like that. Remember this, right?
Okay, here we are. The conclusion of Winter X Games 9, the show opening. It's been a great long day. We're Winter X Games athletes, and we're drained.
I'm hanging out here with Blair Morgan. We're just getting underway. This is a big night, and I know you and Tucker always watch each other when you're out there practicing, when you're out there qualifying. Is he going to be a threat to you tonight?
No way. I got him.
So tell me, what's podium going to be? What's 1, 2, 3?
Me, #1. Maybe Tucker, #2, and Steve Martin, 3.
There you go. Best of luck. We'll talk to you a little bit. Tucker, it's been exactly 370 days since you've been on the sled, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while for sure.
Okay, let's talk about Blair Morgan. What are your thoughts about him this year?
I mean, he's always fast. You can never count him out in a race, you know. And me and him have had so many great battles in the past, and so many, just crazy passing and hitting, and taking each other out, this and that. But I feel that
I'm not in a position to come out here and start ramming people and taking them out, whatever. I'm just having fun. I want to, be friends with people and just whatever. But if it comes down to the last turn, I'll rub a little paint.
And there we go. Hibbert, a brilliant move at the start. It's Morgan and Hibbert 1-2.
Classic confrontation.
Cream rising to the top, and I mean floating away right now.
Hibbert tries the outside again, but is he setting him up to duck inside on the final lap? Who knows? Racing for the checkers. Hibbert closes on the 7C of Morgan. And Morgan takes his 4th gold medal. There's the experience. There's the veteran. And 20-year-old Steve Martin comes home with a bronze medal.
Winter X Games 9 Snocross has come to an end. You two, we talked to you both before the final, and you both said you were going to win, but what a race it's going to be. I'm going to start with you, Tucker, silver medalist. Talk about Blair battling with him. You guys put on quite a show.
It was so much fun. That's probably one of the most fun races I've had. It's, me and Blair used to battle all the time, and it's just great to be back out there again racing and pushing each other.
Blair, finally this moment has come. What's it like to have this gold medal back?
Yeah, it feels good. Last year escaped me, but this year I wanted it back, and I got a good start in the final, which is probably the best thing that could have happened to me.
How long did it take you until you realized that Tucker was right behind you?
Well, I didn't want to look back, and then these corners are pretty wide, so I took a glance back, and I see them pulling on me, so I went into block mode. We like to bang around a little bit, but we always keep it clean.
Well, there you have it, Winter X Games 9 Snocross Finals, gold and silver.